Well, today we usher in a new era of peace between Israel and the Arab world. I just came from an historic virtual conference between myself, President Donald Trump, and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates. We announced the establishment of a full and formal peace between Israel and the UAE. It includes the mutual opening of embassies, direct flights, and many, many other bilateral agreements. This is the greatest advancements toward peace between Israel and the Arab world in the last 26 years, and it marks the third formal peace between Israel and an Arab nation.
Joining the ranks of his predecessors, Prime Ministers Menachem Begin and Yitzhak Rabin, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday became the third Israeli leader to announce an official peace agreement with the Arab world, after Egypt and Jordan. Then thanking United States President Trump's administration for facilitating this agreement, Netanyahu concluded at the podium with high hopes that other Arab states will be soon to follow.
In recent years, Israel under my leadership has made advancement with ties with such countries as Sudan, Oman, Bahrain, and other nations in the Gulf. I have reason to be very optimistic that today's announcement with the UAE will be followed by more Arab nations joining our region's circle of peace.
To that end, Israeli officials reportedly already in talks with Arab states, Morocco supposedly being the most likely to normalize next. In fact, to many in the Arab world, this is hardly surprising.
والله الاتفاقية دي موجودة من زمان أصلا بس ما كانش معلن عنها ومعظم الدول العربية عاملة الاتفاقية دي مع إسرائيل من زمان يعني مش من دلوقتي بس هو مجرد إن هو أعلنوا عنها دلوقتي فده لا هيقدم ولا هيأخر هو كده الكلام موجود من الأول.
Israelis, for their part, plastering the United Arab Emirates flag across the Tel Aviv municipality, are mostly excited about the news too.
So I think the agreement with the United Arab Emirates is very exciting. As an Israeli, we want peace with all of our neighbors, and so peace with them is, one very big step in that direction. And so it's very exciting, and this is a great moment for all of Israel.
Meanwhile, Emirati locals, Jews and Muslims are hailing the peace as well, sharing welcoming messages online, and even offering hotel discounts to Israelis of up to 40%. Locals calling it a cheaper destination for Israelis than the Israeli city of Eilat. The normalization paves the way for Israelis and Emiratis to openly share in investments and cooperate in fields like dealing with the coronavirus, water technology, agrotech, tourism, and defense, specifically against Iranian expansionism in the Middle East. Nothing without its drawbacks, though. The deal is angering many right-wingers in Israel over the stipulation that Jerusalem must give up on annexation plans in the West Bank, at least for the time being. UAE officials, however, are saying that it was the only way forwards.
So we were thinking, let us try and put one and one together. Let us try and develop this organic relationship that is developing with Israel in many, many areas. And let's really try and get something tangible. Let us try and basically deal with the current threat towards a two-state solution, negotiations for a two-state solution. And the current threat is really this annexation of Palestinian territories. So this is how the idea began. And the idea was very clear that Israel will commit in a three-way phone call with the United States to stopping annexation, suspending it, and at the same time, we will be able to also announce that we will begin what I would call a normal relationship with Israel in various areas: technology, investment, healthcare, agriculture, etc., leading to reciprocal diplomatic representation.